Apex Legends Mobile is iPhone Game of the Year at 2022 App Store Awards. I suppose the title says it all, but if we look a little deeper into the story here, Apple's unveiled their winners of their annual App Store Awards. EA's Apex Legends is its iPhone Game of the Year. While this award does cover an array of apps and resources, they do include several gaming categories, including best game per platform. It speaks to some other games that were nominated, including puzzle title Moncage from XD Network as the iPad Game of the Year. I haven't tried that one, actually. And Inscription taking home Mac Game of the Year. Guys, Lindsay first. What do you think, as our mobile gaming expert and lead, what do you think of Apex taking home the gold here?
Well, I would say that this isn't really the gold, and this is more like one of those gold-wrapped chocolate coins, because I'm not so sure that I care a lot about the 2022 App Store Awards. So it's still, I mean, whenever you are the best at something, even when it's something that doesn't seem that important, it is still nice, and I'm not surprised. I know a lot of people who have been playing Apex just colloquially when they aren't able to sit down at their PC, like when they're out and about. So it doesn't shock me. What I do wonder is if, and what I have a hypothesis that I think this will keep people playing on PC for longer. So I think that a lot of players who liked Apex before, either now play it when they have like a moment on their phones, which is nice, or got back into it because the mobile game came out and was like, hey, I used to play that and I kind of liked it. And I would imagine, I would wager a bet that led them back to the PC or console version at least. So I think that developing a good mobile app can actually help you get players on to your other platforms too, and the ones that are like a little bit stickier over time than mobile. So I think that this is a worthwhile endeavor for sure.
I love the thought of using mobile as a funnel to other gaming avenues, though I do take offense as a Apex mobile player that I did love this game. So I do take offense to the first part of your insight. Chris, what do you think? Is this award...
Oh, it's not the game, it's the award. It's like, oh, well.
Chris, do you share that same thought that that these awards are meaningless, but that there's a greater value here per Lindsay's suggestion, or what's your take?
All awards are meaningless. We are in a capitalist society where everything is pay to play. So yeah, I'll say that. But all kidding aside, I think it's due time that we really give the flowers to Respawn. You know, we have to really think about like just what the Infinity Ward was the original team, right? And these guys are still doing it. And when you look at, you know, just to go to mobile and make it successful, I mean, we're talking about Titanfall 2 feel on a phone. That's amazing. And so, you know, I'm not the mobile game player. I watch my kid on that thing, and I'm like, how do you do that with your fingers? That's amazing. But, you know, again, I think this is more of a testament to the programming team. And, you know, I go back to, you know, Paul not being here, but in spirit, how he's always kind of preaching that, like, you have to make the game good and or fun. And that's what this development team has done. And they're doing it on mobile now. And it's bringing people like me and probably even you, Jimmy, from the perspective of I'm a hardcore PC guy. But when the product is that good on mobile, again, tip of the hat to the team behind it. It's pretty wild what they can do.
It's funny to hear you reference Paul as a in the context of a mobile shooter, something that Paul arguably I think hates. But
Right.
You're right. I think your broader point makes sense. What I found interesting about the story is that, you know, from a and you kind of hit the nail on the head, Chris, from a financial perspective, I don't think Apex Mobile has actually been that successful. It's I think definitely underperformed where EA was hoping it would be. And I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head from Sensor Tower or anything like that, but I believe it's like 90% less or lower revenue than Call of Duty Mobile, kind of if you do like a like for like. So while it is a beautifully made game, I think from like a monetization design and like a financial perspective, it's probably not been what EA had hoped, albeit, you know, the Respawn team has done incredible. Apex is a massive IP that they created out of nothing, and kudos obviously to them. But just this mobile project has been probably a disappointment a little bit, I think, for EA from investors' perspective.
Guys, let me get caught up on the comments here. We do have Christian that says Apex is the most impressive title because it's never number one, but never lost in the mix of FPS games. Right. I think kind of similar, Jeff, to what you were suggesting, right? It's definitely not number one in terms of sales. COD obviously outselling it, but still impressive that it's relevant and that it's fun and well talked about. Our fearless leader, Paul, still watching, saying this would be so much better if they had an award show to go with it. I sense some sarcasm there, just a little bit knowing Paul, but correct me if I'm wrong. And Matthew in the chat, this makes me think, who cares? You're missing basically half of the market by focusing just on iPhones. It's probably not the game of the year on Android. I'm curious what goes into the award itself. Per Lindsay's point, I think she hit it on the head for all of us. It's more about this game being still in the mix, relevant, driving EA's users and pushing them down the funnel into console and PC gaming for EA, giving them, like Chris mentioned, a highly competitive experience in comparison to other consoles or mediums, but still, the award being the less important part of the story here.